Hey, stick around because today we're going to talk about the best compass you can take with you on the trail. Okay, so if you follow my channel for any time, you know that I'm constantly harping on learn real land navigation with a compass and a map so that we're not so digitally dependent. So it should come to no surprise that I'm a big fan of compasses. So I have compasses kind of out the wazoo here. A compass is a tool just like anything else in your bag. But having said that, different ones have different purposes. They're all going to work generally the same. It comes down to preference a lot. There's a ton of different options out there for those. Some that I really love. I love this Kamanga compass. The tritium based, it glows great. If you're dropping artillery, this is the way to go. If you're worried about running over it with the car and it's still working, this is the one you want to take with you. Kind of like an old man compass over here where you see through the little magnifying glass, so I don't need my readers. Thing is crazy. Both of those are super heavy. Then you got nonsense like these things, which I call this the shit that will get you killed category. I'm not going to depend on any of these things to bring me home. These are Cracker Jack box toys. If your compass looks like this, throw that garbage away. I would fall back on this compass. I do take this little Suunto clipper wrist-based compass. It's harder to do detailed land nav with it, but it's still very accurate. A lot of people who will actually carry a real compass will carry something like this, which is just a little base plate compass. It is absolutely better than just about everything over there with the exception of the Kamanga. This is not a bad compass, but it is a bit subjective in that if I'm doing long distance land navigation, I'm less precise because I don't have a great way to actually sight this onto a specific object. So it makes something like this a bit less accurate than something like this. In comes the Suunto MC2. Okay, so what you get with the Suunto MC2, you get the accuracy and sighting ability that would be your Kamanga military issue compass, which I do love, with the lightweight approach of something more like the standard base plate. So what are we working with here? Right out the gate, weight-wise, this compass is about 2.5 ounces without the lanyard on it. It does snap locked really nicely. Okay, so right out the gate, a couple things to pay attention to when you're buying. You can pick this up based on the metric system or the imperial system. That just determines your units of measure around the outside. And then these are also set up where this one is actually the northern hemisphere one. There's a southern hemisphere version, and there's also a global version where you can go through and you can set you can set it for either or if you're going to be traveling in both. Price difference, it's about $20 worth of difference from the global to the northern or southern hemisphere. I think this one was $85 last time I looked, and the global was about $105, some of that neighborhood. And I'll throw a link to these in the bottom of the description if you care to check these out. But nice firm rotation on the bezel, so it's not going to just willy-nilly move around on you. Obviously, you guys have picked up the fact that there's a nice little bright mirror in here, which I do like in case I'm out signaling. Looking on the back side here, there's a little bitty screw hole up here. And then on the provided lanyard, actually a little bitty key to adjust that. That is where you set your declination. So you can set it here and then not have to constantly refresh and change that while you're out and about. So another thing I like about this compass, you have a secondary hand back here. This is your clinometer, so if you're calculating slopes, that's what you would actually use it for, which is really handy to have. Okay, so one extra feature on this compass, you've got a little magnifying glass right here in case you're reading stuff that's smaller on the map. I don't think you could ever go out there and light a fire with this thing. I don't think it's intended for that. I may try that one day. I haven't really tried it with this thing yet. Okay, so so if you notice on here on the mirror, there's actually a little sighting line that goes down the middle, and then also in this window down at the bottom, there's a little notch. So you're going to put your target object inside this little sighting window in the notch below the line, and then that's what you're able to then tilt this down, rotate your bezel so that you can find your bearing. So all in all, this little thing has been super solid. It's not significantly heavier than the other compass, other than the death compasses, which I'm not going to ever carry anyway. But it's a lot lighter than that Kamanga. Could I run over it with the car and it still be fine? No, absolutely not. If I run over it with the car, I've got probably worse issues to worry about. So you guys go out there and check this thing out. It's been an absolute rock solid compass for me so far. That's why this is my choice to take out on the trail pretty much all the time. It's not the highest end compass out there. It's definitely not a cheap compass, but it is a very effective compass, and it is my choice to take on the trail. So you guys check those out if you get a chance. Okay guys, hopefully you found that useful, and going forward you'll take land navigation as a serious safety precaution while you're out on the trail. And as always, if you're out there right now, just remember, left foot, right foot, repeat. We'll see you out there soon.